to The Lock Shop with Nielson and Hustler. Welcome to The Lock Shop with Nielson and Hustler.
Good morning or afternoon, depending where you are, whether you're in Winnipeg or Edmonton. Welcome to The Lock Shop. What is up, Lock Shoppers? We are here on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports, presented by Play Alberta. Thanks to everyone for tuning in across the Edmonton Sports Talk audio streams at edmontonsportstalk.com. Tune in, iHeartRadio, Apple Music. Thank you for those watching on YouTube or listening to this on podcast. Matt Iwanek in for Dustin Nielson one more time until Lieutenant Eric will fill in for Dusty over the next tomorrow and on Monday, as I will be off to Grey Cup. Huss will join us momentarily here. Sorry about the start on this show. Somebody accidentally tripped and I didn't have any audio coming through my headphones. So we had to pause to figure out why am I not getting any audio? Because it'd be hard doing a show with Huss where I can't hear him. He'd be able to hear me. I wouldn't be able to hear him. It would make things rather difficult. So we had to pause just to figure out what was going on there. Figured it out. We're all good. I could hear things once again. Reminder, playalberta.ca. Download the app. Visit them online. EST specials right now. I threw up a Grey Cup one. Montreal Alouettes +4 boosted to -105. It's still at or +4, I should say, for Owls. It's still at Montreal. They are still +4, just regular. That's -116, though. On the money line, Montreal +147, Saskatchewan -200. On the show today, we'll talk some Thursday night football. You got the Jets, you got the Patriots, a massive line in this one. As the Patriots 13.5-point favorites going into this one. On the money line, -833. In money line this weekend in the NFL, just straight up money line, there isn't a single team better than, or worse off. The Packers are -312 on the money line. The Texans are -323. No one's in the 4s, no one's in the 5s, no one's in the 6s, no one's in the 7s. You got the Patriots at -833. By far, the biggest favorite going into this weekend's action in the National Football League. So we'll talk a little bit about that. We'll look at the NHL. The Edmonton Oilers, they are in action taking on the Columbus Blue Jackets. Almost virtually a pick-em in this one. The Oilers -106 on the money line. The Blue Jackets -110. So officially, though, with Play Alberta, the Edmonton Oilers, not too many times you're going to see this, but they're coming in as the slight underdogs in this one. The Winnipeg Jets, they are out in Seattle taking on the Kraken. The Jets favorite in that one, -135 on the money line, but a little bit of a busy slate in the National Hockey League on this Thursday. And also, it is Canada Soccer International Friendly taking on Ecuador today out at BMO Field in Toronto. Just another getting set for 2026 in the World Cup next year. Canada plus 183 to win, draws plus 188, Ecuador plus 151. Maybe we'll spend a little time on Canada soccer in a little bit. But right now, let's bring him in on to the show from Winnipeg Sports Talk. It is Hustler. Huss, how we doing on this Thursday?
Iwanek, I'm going from game time decisions or doubtful. I've been upgraded to probable now. And I think it's going to be tomorrow when we look at the WST Lock Shop injury report. I'll be upgraded to a full participant.
Excellent.
And for the weekend, it will be go time. Has not been a great week in Hussville, but the Buckleys seems to be working. The only thing that's unfortunately preventing me from just fully getting back is the fact that my profession has me talking for like 5 hours straight during the day, which has not been good. But hopefully I won't have any massive coughing fits during the show and we can get into it. Were you laying down, what were those numbers that you were just saying? Patriots minus 833. Were those playoff numbers?
No, Patriots versus the Jets tonight.
Oh, yes, the Thursday nighter.
Yeah, no, it's minus 833 for the Patriots. Just straight up money line, 13.5 points favorites. It's just, I'm trying to see there's no other double digit favorite this weekend. I could see already like the Ravens get the Jets next week. And the Ravens right now are currently 14.5 points favorites going into that one. Ravens are 7.5 point favorites against the Browns this weekend. Packers are 6.5 against the Giants. Texans are 6 point favorites against the Titans. That's kind of like the highest numbers that I'm seeing on Play Alberta. But then you got the Patriots at 13.5 against these New York Jets. It's Robert Gronkowski getting honored tonight, if I'm not mistaken, at Gillette. He signed a 1-day contract, I think, with them. I saw yesterday or something like that. So it's at least Play Alberta not exactly thinking the Jets have much of a shot tonight when it comes to this Thursday nighter.
Okay. Now that you've told me that Gronk is being honored tonight, here's the bet, dude. It's got to be a Hunter Henry touchdown, just so he can do the tribute to Gronk with the big Gronk spike in the end zone. Take that one to the bank. Hunter Henry touchdown. I think we can make that happen. Because the 13 points is a little. Yes, they're gonna win this football game. The covering. Do you know that the underdog has covered in I think every Thursday nighter this year?
Really?
It has been crazy. Like, I'm gonna pull this up and we'll go in reverse order. But I went through this the other last week. So last week, the Thursday nighter, the Raiders covered against the Broncos. The week before, it didn't happen. The Ravens crushed the Dolphins.
Yeah.
But it was more the big favorites. Like I think we've like 8 or 9 points for. Chargers beat the Vikings. That was a close one. The Bengals beat the Steelers outright as like an 8 or 9 point dog. The week before that, you had the Giants winning outright as 11 or 12 point dog against the Eagles. Week before that, the Niners won outright against the Rams. Week 4, you had the Seahawks I don't remember what the line was in that. That was kind of before everyone was on Seattle. You had the Dolphins cover against the Bills in week 3. The week 2 game was the Packers Commanders. Don't remember what that line was. And then Eagles Cowboys. So obviously it wasn't but that's what it was for double digit or like big dogs. They've won. I don't know. I've got a hard time thinking anything of the Jets. I have a feeling that this actually might be a Patriots cover tonight when you think about the excitement, the Gronk night and all that. But if you want one pick for tonight, will there be a Gronk spike in the end zone? Should be like minus 5,000. And I bet they go to the tight end tonight. and let Hunter Henry make that happen.
Hey, yeah, I didn't think of that, but that's a great one because Gronk is being honored. He's going to be serving as the Patriots keeper of the light for the game. The one thing I'll say about the Patriots, after that win against the Bucks, I'm now buying the Patriots of being a top team. But when I'm looking at the 13.5, like here's just some of their more recent wins. Like they beat the Bucks. That was a cover because I believe the Bucks were 3-point favorites or 2-point favorites or something going into that one. They take on Atlanta, beat them by 1 point. They take on the Browns. They beat them by 9 points. Oh, no. They beat the Browns big. Never mind. I'm looking at that wrong. They beat them by 19 points, I believe it is. Beat the Titans by big. The Saints barely. I don't know what to make now. They would have covered against the Titans and the Browns, but they wouldn't have covered against the Saints or the Falcons if this is a type of spread. And Thursday Night Football's just, I'm glad you put out those numbers because they're the ones to me that if there's a time where I don't want to take a big number, it's on Thursdays because of the short week, because this is in those moments that we have just seen time and time again where the weirdness happens and where what we thought, what we expect would happen on a Sunday often maybe sometimes doesn't really happen on that Thursday. So I'm glad you have those numbers. And at 13.5, like to me, this is kind of a game you're not touching the money line. And I do feel like I probably just would stay away from even the spread here because I also just can't bet on a Jets team that just a couple weeks ago sold off a bunch of pieces and Justin Fields absolutely. I can't expect them to now really have any sort of, ability to go and cover. But then the other part to this where I just keep going back is it's division. And this is a great opportunity. If you're the New York Jets, you're not going to win many more games this season, but what great time to go win a football game if you care by ruining things with the New England Patriots. The Patriots are up officially, right above the Bills. They're sitting nice. The Patriots are feeling pretty good. Like we've got to be looking at the Patriots. Can they go take the AFC East? But what a dagger in their hopes of winning this division against the Bills after they blow it against the Dolphins to drop your first one against the Jets. And the Jets could go do that. So it's like, how much are the Jets going to be out there just to be this massive spoiler against this organization they absolutely hate?
Yeah. And I mean, listen, Mike Vrabel of all coaches seems to be the one that has like a long memory. He's a Patriot guy through and through. They would love nothing more than just to light these guys up by 40. But I mean, history has told us that it's easier said than done on those Thursday nights. So I think it's sort of a stay away. We kind of look at some props and obviously, as I mentioned, just this weekend in the NFL, I'm really choked actually that it's Grey Cup weekend, like the one Sunday that there's sort of a conflict. I love the fact that the Canadian Football League is not putting Sunday games, going head to head, making us choose. Football fans love football. I mean, there's not that many Canadians into U.S. college football, so Saturday's been a great day. We love the Thursday, the Friday night games. But, dude, there are some amazing matchups this week. Now, there's the usual noon slop, with some of the more underwhelming teams. We do have a good noon game, though, with Tampa in Buffalo to take on the Bills. 6-3 at 6-3. Couple of hilarious barbs back and forth between Baker Mayfield and Josh Allen in the interviews. I guess these guys are sort of buddies. Baker Mayfield said something like, well, when I talk to Josh, I need to use a walkie-talkie because he's 6'10". And then Josh said that, well, don't listen to Baker. He wears 2 gloves while he's golfing. So that tells you the sort of guy that he is. Like they were having some fun back and forth. That should be an excellent game. Buffalo, I'm just looking at ESPN. They're 5.5-point favorites. But then the late games, arguably, I mean, a lot of people are calling it the game of the year. Seahawks at Rams at 3:05. Then you've got the Chiefs and Broncos at 3:25. And then the night game, Lions and Eagles, 6-3 at 7-2. I got to tell you, this just, I mean, as far as for big time games, there's been maybe 1 or 2 the last few weeks. We got 4 absolute beauties. And then an absolute dog of a Monday nighter with the Cowboys and the Raiders on Monday night once it's all said and done.
Yeah, last year was Bills Chiefs, if I'm not mistaken, on Grey Cup Sunday.
Yeah,
I kind of remember. Yeah, but now, what is it? 2 years from now? the Grey Cup week, it's going to be a week ahead of this. It'll be last weekend that we'll have. So, yeah. What are your plans? Like this Sunday morning, are you going to doing anything, or you just waiting to get ready for Grey Cup?
Yeah, probably. I mean, the one thing that's prevented me from really getting too much involved with the FRC and the Football Reporters of Canada is that 8 or 9 a.m. brunch they have that's their big thing. I'm like, I don't know whether that's going to work in with the rest of my Grey Cup schedule.
It's pretty far too.
Where it is, where is it at?
Let me double check, but I saw it yesterday and I Google Maps it. I'm like, that is completely the opposite direction.
Is that the Hyatt House?
I think so.
Yeah, so that's the media hotel. So I mean, for most of the media that are staying there, it's convenient for them. But
yeah, they got that shuttle.
If you want to get there to elsewhere, I can tell you though, Maddie. Media party was last night. In the interest of not ruining the rest of my weekend,
you passed.
I did not go, which killed me. I was getting texts all night. Where are you? Blah, blah, blah. But everyone seemed to have a great time. That was out of Bell's Kitchen, which is sort of on the other end of the city, but a really, really cool new venue that has like incredible Southern barbecue. Like everyone was just blown away by the food, the drinks, great entertainment. They won some, I think, Canadian Country Music Award for Venue of the Year. So I know that they're packed. Like people are going to be there all weekend long. If you are popping in and you want to just get away from downtown for a little bit, highly recommend that place. But like shit is popping downtown already. Touchdown Manitoba is going on this afternoon. It's actually going to be fun. We've got Connor Rabchak, the young guy that works for us, with the Jets on the road and no practices. There's not a lot going on. So he was going down to meet some friends at TDMB today. So I think we're going to actually have a live look-in to the festivities this afternoon towards the end of Winnipeg Sports Talk for that on the show. But tonight are you here tonight or tomorrow?
Late tonight, 10:50.
Late 10:50.
Yeah. So it's probably not going to be worth getting out at all.
Yeah, exactly. Those things are going till 1. But Winnipeg's own The Watchmen playing a concert as part of the concert series tonight with some other really good entertainment. But things are going already this afternoon. And downtown Winnipeg, I had some friends that were down at an event at the arena last night. And they popped into just one of the smaller bars downtown. They said there were Grey Cup fans from everywhere already and on Wednesday night, which was pretty impressive. So I think you're coming in, and I was just outside for a minute. It is gorgeous outside. And tomorrow there is a outdoor social outside of the convention center. They blocked off the street, and it is going to be a high of 11. So I'm not sure whether the Peg is ever going to have a chance to look better in the middle of November than 11 degrees Celsius on a Friday of Grey Cup weekend. And it seems like the temperature for the game actually has gone up as well. Looks like a high of 3 on Sunday and sunshine. Now, obviously, it'll be getting a little darker right now with the daylight savings and everything like that. But
at 5 p.m. on Sunday, it's going to be -1. And that's what it will feel like. And then it's going to dip a couple more degrees. But the low is only -6 now for Sunday. And we were looking at that yesterday, and with the wind chill and stuff, it was going to be much colder. So that's changed a bit. I've never traveled by air to a Grey Cup, and I'm not checking a bag. So I've been a little like, how is my bag packing going? And I don't want to overpack, but also don't want to be underpacked for the Sunday where it will be a little cooler. But that forecast change maybe helps a little bit. Maybe I could take one thing out. But like if it was all 11 or something, this would be easy packing. But this is the first flying Grey Cup for me, and I'm just like, well, am I overpacking? Am I underpacking? I'm trying to squeeze as much as I can, but
just
my bag's pretty full.
This is what I would suggest. Plan on what you're going to wear to the game. Like you'll want a jacket, and obviously some mitts and, maybe a toque or whatever.
Have a heated vest.
Throw that stuff. Oh, dude, that's even better. I mean, something like that. You've got it. I mean, just have that on you, basically onto the plane. You can just kind of crumple that up and stick that in. And then your carry-on, you're going to have whatever you're going to wear, a couple of other trinkets and whatnot. throw it in, and yeah, you'll be fine. You've obviously seen. By the way, Dusty. Did you catch Dusty on with Hernan and yesterday? So
the jacket.
He showed up at the media party last night. He didn't change. So he was wearing his brand new, he was so proud of it, the new reversible CFL jacket. He was wearing his old CFL hat and the Radically Canadian t-shirt as well. So he's literally the history of the marketing of the CFL. He is the poster boy right now in and around downtown Winnipeg.
That Radically Canadian is the brainchild of someone out in Ottawa with the Red Blacks. They posted that one out there because I got that shirt and wore it, and Dusty loved it, so he bought one of those. But that one, I'll give credit. For whatever reason, the Red Blacks have a lot of good Canadian CFL, just generic CFL stuff. And for some reason, it's not across the country. Like, I don't get that.
I've never seen that around here.
It's weird. Like, that stuff, the CFL should be pumping out there because people love that stuff. And especially like the Radically Canadian one is with the political climate that was this calendar year. That should have been thrown out there massively because, you know, what better way to go full pro Canadiana as we're going that way in many ways than to be like, yeah, Radically Canadian. But he absolutely loved that jacket, and he wouldn't say on air how much it was because he says it's probably the most expensive jacket he owns.
Yeah, the stuff I don't think will be cheap, but we've got a full setup, massive CFL Pro Shop right there at the convention center where the team parties are and where the concert series is and all that. So I think you're in for a very fun
Been
thing.
too long. It's been too long since
how is, speaking of FOMO, how is LTE handling all of this? With Dusty and you being there and his riders in the game, this must be killing him. Or has he made a decision? Has he made a last-minute decision to do the right thing and get his ass here to Winnipeg for the game on Sunday?
No, he's sticking it here. I don't know if... I don't sense any disappointment that he's not going out right now. I haven't been able to talk to him much this week because Monday he wasn't here. Tuesday we're off. Yesterday and today, I've gone hang out right to Lock Shop, and he leaves in that time, so I don't get a lot of chat with Eric. Yes. But he'll be watching with his brother. They've got their nice little setup for it. So, like, it's not like he's alone watching as a Rider fan. Like, around, you know, him and his brother have experienced a lot together. So I don't know if there's a full FOMO of not being there for it. I think he's fine, but I haven't had that full conversation. Now, if this, like, I would expect that maybe he's going to go next year because it's in Calgary. But if Saskatchewan makes it to Calgary, I'd be stunned if he wasn't planning on going, that he didn't make a quick switch to be like, well, no, I'm got to go to that game type thing. But yeah, I don't know. I guess the one thing I went to the O2 Grey Cup here in Edmonton, and it was Eskimos against the Owls. And that was not one of my favorite Grey Cups I've ever been to. I've been to a few now. Because when your team's in, if they don't win, it hurts. It stinks. And then, you know, I was at 10, I was at 18. Edmonton wasn't in either. They were great times. I had a great time. I didn't have to worry about the outcome of the game. It was a wonderful time. You've now gone to a few where you've seen the wins, but you've also seen some of the losses. And there's that part to it too, is do you want to go spend that money last minute to go to Winnipeg where there's a chance, well, you might just be paying for disappointment in a sense.
The thought, though, of being a Rider fan, now, admittedly, he's, you know, an expat or whatever, living out in Edmonton right now. But to be able to win the Grey Cup in the stadium of your biggest rival, I mean, that means something. I mean, the amount of Bomber fans that went in and had their hearts broken in 22 going for the three-peat in Saskatchewan was massive. And I mean, the only reason that I wasn't at that one was that I was in Qatar for the World Cup, because of course the World Cup was at that bizarre time in late November heading into December because of the temperatures out there. So we will miss LTE. I was hoping to get the full LTE experience at Grey Cup weekend with the Riders in this week, but I'm sure. I think, is he doing Lock Shop tomorrow?
Yeah, okay. He'll be on Lock Shop tomorrow and Monday with you. Then Dusty will be back Tuesday, and then I think Dusty will slowly work his way back into contender of being the best host or one of the, or from EST on the show, because he's kind of the backup right now to me.
Absolutely. I mean, listen, there's death taxes and me being here at 11 a.m. Mountain Time. And then you, of course, the backbone of EST, bringing it around. And then, Dusty's sort of like he's the face, the figurehead. But right now, he's just gallivanting around downtown Winnipeg with this new CFL jacket.
He is going to try to get on tomorrow. He did tell me that. So he is going to try to get on tomorrow because he is missing the NFL picks. And probably wants to get a little CFL, but so stay tuned for that one as well. Have you seen any, like, it's still Saskatchewan -4 for this game? Have you seen anything change on your end?
Okay, so I have been watching. What's the latest money line?
Al's +147, Riders -200.
Okay, I have been following a couple places, and I saw it get to +150, and I'm like, holy smokes. And then like +157. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. And then +165. I'm like, this can't be real. It's not getting up any, like, I still don't think that on any of the books we're going to get more continued momentum to the Riders. Now that this number is at 4, I can't possibly imagine this getting to 4.5. I think depending on, where books operate, like if they do business like in Saskatchewan. Now, that being said, Rider fans are everywhere. We know that.
Yes.
I mean, it's like if you're a Saskatchewaner, you maybe move elsewhere, but you still bleed green. There's such a public team. Like, I'm trying to wrap my head around why the line has moved to where it is. Because as I say, there's 2 big factors. One is the Riders are a very public team. So the minute that they got in there, I'm sure Saskatchewan people could not wait to bet their team. So I think that would have been an influence. And then the other thing is just the Davis Alexander, the uncertainty about how well he's going to be ready. I mean, if they had gone in and blown out Hamilton and he had just an amazing game, looked like the guy when he was healthy in the regular season, I still think that this would be a pick'em, and the Alouettes might be a slight favorite in this game. So if you like Montreal, I think this is the time to jump in on it. I wouldn't be surprised if as we get closer to the game, it maybe gets back to 3. But I think this is going to be a really close game. As I say, I've got a lot of faith that the Alouettes will be ready to go. I'm fascinated, though, by what we get from the Riders. Because when you think about it, like they are so fortunate to be in this game right now. And this isn't sour grapes from a Bomber fan of the rivalry. I mean, we talked about it, Maddie. The decisions that Corey Mace made, like how that didn't sink them. I'm still amazed. But credit to them. They got it done. But this Montreal defense in particular, led by Noel Thorpe, I think is going to be a real challenge for Trevor Harris. I was looking at props. I don't know if you have any passing props there. I saw earlier, I think it was 281.5, I think, for Trevor Harris, and Alexander was at like 263 or so. Both of the games went under big time last week. Now, I think the weather probably was maybe a little bit more impactful in those games than it probably will be. Like, it'll be pretty similar. I'm not sure how windy it's going to be. I guess that's the other thing that we should see. Friday, the wind is going to be a south wind of 20.
So our weather guy in town, Josh Clausen, he's giving me this one website where he uses his model, so I love using that one.
Yes, the rapper. I'm a big Josh Clausen guy, just from his appearances on EST.
So the biggest gusts of wind are going to happen at noon Winnipeg time on Sunday at 20 kilometers, but by 6 o'clock, there's like no wind. It's like 7 kilometers. It doesn't seem like game time at this moment. From one thing I'm looking at from this site, that it right now it doesn't look like the wind will be a factor at all in this game.
The best news, that's the best news for fans. Because if it starts whipping, I still tell stories about the West final in 21, I guess, against the Riders. And it was about -15 or -20, but the wind was relentless. And we were, if you go into the Princess Auto Stadium, it's built like it's a bowl that goes down. So if you basically walk into the main concourse area, and we were in one of the loges on concourse area, and we had the wind whipping at our backs the entire time. It was, at the time, it was the coldest that I'd ever been in my life at a game. That was before I went to the Chiefs-Dolphins playoff game a couple years ago, which was just, I mean, next level frigid. I still can't believe it. But the fact of the matter is, if it's a single-digit wind, it will be incredibly comfortable. And if any Edmonton people were at the game in 2015 here when Mike Riley led the team to a victory, it was probably, I think, around minus 15 or so. Not particularly windy, but it was pretty cold. So I think you're in for a pretty nice weekend and game situation when you get here, as opposed to what is possible at this time of year here in Winnipeg.
What will be fascinating in this game for me is if this comes down to kicking. I think one team has a lot more ability to feel confident in their kicker than the other one.
You think?
Yeah. How has Brett Lawler been the last couple of weeks? But with the pressure coming in, like I that's the one thing where, like, if Maltos has to go out there, if you're Montreal, you're feeling really good. You're feeling good from distance as well. And if you're Lawler, against Winnipeg in the last regular season game, what is this? Is this right? Yeah, this is his page. It says he was 3 of 4, 5 of 5, 2 of 4, 1 of 1, 5 of 5, 5 of 5, 0 and 1, 3 of 5, 1 and 5. Like, so he's had a stretch there was all right, but it's
it doesn't matter. It's all going to come down. And listen, I think this is a close game, and you make a great point. I mean, there's so much cooked in pressure for Lawler, who's been a great rider, has had an awesome career, almost lost his job earlier this year, has sort of rebounded. But that's great. He kept his job and he's in this point. I mean, he has to get the job done. And the kicking job in Regina is probably more pressure packed than anywhere else, just because of the focus on the football team. I mean, it's different there than it is in any other market. I'd say Winnipeg is probably the next closest, but I mean, it really is something that they eat, breathe, and talk about 7 days a week throughout the season. And I'm with you. I mean, listen, if I was taking one of the two guys to kick a game winner at the end of the game, I'll take Maltos. Thank you very much.
The Tampa Bay Lightning screwed up our NHL parlay yesterday. We had the Mammoth, we got the Devils, and then they bounced it a little bit of a comeback and then let it slip away even more so. So not a great game last night from the Lightning.
A wild game. There was seven goals in the first period.
Yep. And then so the Lightning managed to get it within one. It was 4-3, and then they give up 3 unanswered in the second and the third periods, and they lose 7-3. Not something we're fully expecting. Although 8-1-1 the Rangers this season on the road.
Yeah, well, that's because they were 0-7 at home.
Yeah,
before they finally won, they had to get things done. I kind of figured that the water was going to rise back to the level on both, but that's a nice win for they have been really boosted by the return of Vincent Trocheck. I think Trocheck's been back for about a week or so, and his fingerprints have been all over these wins lately for them. Both of those teams are off tonight. Speaking of which, I mean, you want to talk about dodging a bullet. Your Oilers last night, the beneficiaries of that offside. And hey, listen,
it's an illegal goal.
Part of it. I was sort of doing some stuff, and I had the game on. And I heard they score, and everyone goes crazy. I look, and I go, oh my God, 23 seconds left. And like when anything bad happens with the Oilers, all I think about is, oh my God, Gazzola's post-game show is gonna be crazy. But clearly offside, which you just can't do. That wasn't even close.
Nope.
Short review, done. And you just saw, like, they had the close-up shot of Tippett. He goes, was that me? Yeah, dude, that was you. And I mean, once it went to OT, there was zero doubt in my mind that the Oilers were going to get that win. So people not settling down, just get the 2 points, move on.
Win's a win. Maybe not. It's not a sustainable way of winning the last 2 hockey games for the Edmonton Oilers. Those aren't you're not going to go on massive win streaks if you keep playing that way. But right now, it's just about getting those wins. And looks like Matthias Janmark has brought a little bit, of a juice to this team that they've been lacking. Who would have thought that you're talking about a Matthias Janmark is being important to this team? Roslovic still playing very well. And then, look, he almost was offside in overtime himself, but wasn't. Stretched the leg, got the game winner.
Did you hear the interview with him after the game?
I didn't actually.
So they said, hey, great, you're almost offside. You made sure you stayed offside. He's like, yeah, it was a little PTSD from what happened to them. So you can tell, like they were very cognizant of what just happened. Do not go offside. Credit to him. He's been sort of a nice, I don't want to say maybe necessarily a surprise. The surprise was that it took him this long to get a deal, and he had to sign for pretty cheap and $1 million after the season that he had last year. But he's fitting in pretty nicely, and it seems like he's been a difference maker for the Oilers right now at a time where they're sort of looking for some more guys other than the big boys to step up.
Yeah, he's contributed in big ways. He's got 11 points in the 16 games, if I'm not mistaken. I have to go see his game logs from this year. It was a slower start. He had 1 point through his first 7 games with the team. But then since then, he's rattled off a bunch of points in that time. And he's been one of those guys that you look at and has been, giving something to this team almost night in and night out. I want to take these games away. Go away. Sometimes hockey reference can be a little difficult to sort. In his last 9 games, 10 points, 5 goals, 5 assists, contributing at big moments. Being what I think a little bit better than even what you would expect if he can keep going this way. And who knows when Zach Hyman comes in. They play tonight. They got the Columbus Blue Jackets, who they've met just a couple days ago, and the Blue Jackets deserved a better fate largely in that hockey game. So we'll see how they compete. The Oilers have lost 4 straight in Columbus. So I've had a tough time down there. Got destroyed last year. We think it was 6-1 or something like that, 7-1 in that game. But I said it yesterday. I feel like this team is slowly making that turn. They're not all of a sudden the Edmonton Oilers again of, playoffs and all of that, but they're that large cruise ship that's needing to turn around. It takes a little bit of time. And I think they are making that turn here. So Oilers tonight, back to back, that gives the advantage a little bit to the Blue Jackets. They're going to be pissed off when it happened on Monday, but I do like the Edmonton Oilers to continue this road trip, starting off with grabbing 2 more points. I like them, winning this hockey game. And so I do look at the Edmonton Oilers. I know Jay's working on a play of the day that focuses heavily on this Oilers team. So stay tuned for that on EST Specials at Play Alberta. What do you think? Oilers, you think they're...
Well, what's the line? What's the PA line on that? I'm sure the Oiler line is maybe... Virtually
pick them. Oilers are the slight dogs, actually, at minus 106. Yeah. The Blue Jackets are minus 110.
Tell you what. I mean, the Oilers as an underdog against Columbus it should basically be an auto bet, I would suggest, during most times. I do understand that they just played, but I kind of think that Columbus had their best shot for a win in that game before McDavid just said, okay, enough is enough. We're not losing this hockey game and making it happen. I don't know whether just with the nature of how they played with it being the back-to-back, I don't know whether I'd stick them on a parlay, but if you were just going to go on a single bet, I mean, you could probably put together a pretty good same gamer, with the Oilers to win at a good number, and then a couple of other guys. Roslovic, in fact, might be someone to throw on that card. A Columbus native who, of course, was traded from the Jets to Columbus, didn't really work out for him, and now he's still kind of looking to find that forever home. And he's doing a good job at boosting his stock right now with Edmonton. But there's a lot of games tonight. Do you have the starting goalies there?
Let me get that for you.
Quick rundown of
so Red Wings, Gibson is confirmed. Ducks are unconfirmed at the moment. Bruins sends Korpisalo for the Bruins and Marilainen for the Senators. DeSmith is going for the Stars against Dubé's for the Canadians. Thompson for the Capitals against Tarasov for the Panthers. It says Kemper is likely for the Kings, whilst Hildeby is confirmed for the Leafs. Pickard will get the start for the Oilers. It's likely that it'll be Greaves for the Blue Jackets. Unconfirmed for the Sharks. Wolf is getting the start for the Flames. Mackenzie Blackwood confirmed for the Avalanche. Unconfirmed for the Sabres. Sorokin confirmed for the Islanders. It's unconfirmed right now for the Golden Knights. And nothing for Jets and Kraken as well. Speaking of goalies, by the way, Wedgwood and the Avs have just signed a 1-year, $2.5 million extension. That has just come across the wire. He's not getting the start tonight as Mackenzie Blackwood, but Wedgwood getting a little bit of an extension with the Avalanche. But that's what those are the confirmed or likely starters tonight, and I just left the unconfirmed unspoken of right now. It does say Hellebuck Grubauer for Jets Kraken, but it's completely unconfirmed.
Yeah, well, Decord's on the IR. Hellebuck was sat in Anaheim. So Hellebuck fully expected to go for Winnipeg tonight. I think that's pretty much a lock. I think just the big question is whether he'll go a third straight game in Calgary on Saturday, and then Eric Comrie will get the home game against Columbus, or whether they'll swap that and have Comrie play the Calgary Flames again. Hey, just before we get into the picks, speaking of goaltending and Wedgwood signing, how often when you guys are having your endless conversations about goaltending on EST, does the job that Chris McFarland did in Colorado last year of just saying, you know what, our goaltending stinks, and just boom, flipping it around and then going and getting Mackenzie Blackwood and Scott Wedgwood? I imagine that is sort of the blueprint that many Oiler fans hope that Stan Bowman can take with this group.
I will say, actually, I think I've seen it thrown out there a little bit, but for the most part, not a lot of people bring that up from what I see.
Interesting, because that's just such a fascinating way that they had such a great team, but they really had goaltending that wasn't cutting it, getting done. And we always say, oh, it's so hard to trade. It's so hard to make things happen. It's the cap and everything like that. And they went and, I mean, now listen, Blackwood and Wedgwood are good. I mean, they're not Hellebuck or Ottinger or whatever, but I mean, they've got two guys that I think they're pretty confident in right now. And obviously that's been what the Oiler team has really been looking for a long time. But let's get to these games tonight. What do we like? There's a few underdogs, to be honest, that are kind of intriguing to me, Maddie.
Which one stands out to you most?
There's three. First of all, the Ducks in Detroit. I mean, the Ducks have been so good, and I know their 7 or 8 game winning streak got snapped. It got snapped a couple days ago in a 2-1 game where they went absolutely toe-to-toe with the best team in the National Hockey League right now, and that's the Colorado Avalanche. So I think the Ducks are very live at in and around plus 120.
It stood out to me right off the bat. The Red Wings, they've lost 3 straight. So like this isn't like you're going up against a team that's feeling confident right now themselves. So right off the bat at plus 128 here for the Ducks, that one just right away was like, yep, that one.
So I know that Ottawa has been, sort of up and down. They're hanging. I mean, they just lost. I mean, they were, positioned to beat the Stars, who tied it up and won it in overtime, and they had back-to-back wins over the Mammoth and Flyers before that. But I'm seeing the Bruins as around a plus 140 dog in Ottawa tonight. I'm not sure if people have been paying attention, but Boston right now has won 7 in a row and are tied with Montreal at the top of the division. Now, Ottawa has 1 regulation loss in their last 10 and are only 2 points back with the game in hand. But with the heater that the Bruins are on right now, with David Pasternak playing, he just had his 400th last game. I think there's an argument that there's a nice number there on Boston. And I know Edmonton people will love this one. I got a lot of time for the San Jose Sharks as a road dog in Calgary. San Jose has a few things that Calgary doesn't have. There's certainly a faster team, but they have like a couple of game-breaking, high-end young players. Macklin Celebrini is going to be the best player on the ice. And when you think about the Sharks and where they started the season, they've won 4 in a row. They're 7-2-1 in their last 10. Calgary is in a bad place right now, unless you are a draftnik and a big fan of Gavin McKenna. So in and around plus 135 on San Jose, I have a lot of time for that pick as well.
I also, the LA Kings in, this isn't a favorite one, or this isn't an underdog one. This is a favorite one. But the LA Kings in Toronto taking on the Leafs. They don't have Matthews. They don't have Stolars. The Kings are rolling right now. The Leafs are reeling. Their fan base is losing it a little bit right now. I don't mind the LA Kings, minus 135 going into Scotiabank and taking this one against the Leafs tonight.
I'm with you on that one. I like the Jets tonight, but I'm not putting that on any parlay. It's nice. It's nice to sort of keep our teams aside out of it. So,
there was
do we go with the 2 California teams or the 3 California teams?
Well, that's plus 848 without a boost.
I'm here for it.
Hey,
I'm here for it.
The California teams to go all on the road dogs. Well, not all road dogs, Kings aren't, but being the road teams going out there and causing some havoc. Like I'm with you on everything about the Sharks and the Flames. Red Wings and Leafs just aren't playing good hockey right now, or and the Ducks and the Kings, take away the Ducks' most recent loss. They were really, rolling right before that. I think the Kings and the Ducks are playing really good hockey right now. So I do like all 3 of those California teams. The rise of of California back in the National Hockey League, it's coming. Spenty 5 cents. The Ducks have covered plus 1.5 in 5 straight versus the Red Wings. 8 of their last 9 on the road as well. And then supersized Indiana Jones. Who would have thought we would ever be betting Duck Sharks money lines? What a time to be alive.
Matthew Hyman in chat. Huss, can you get tickets to Overdrive at BP today and tomorrow? I don't think it's a ticketed event. I think they just took reservations that just got filled up.
Cool. They're subjecting themselves to the CFL.
Yeah.
I'm going to fly off back to Toronto on Saturday morning.
Maybe Friday at about
afternoon
5.
Yeah.
There'll be a car waiting for them. Hey, it's cool that they're coming out here and doing that. That should be neat. Matt, you might be familiar with the show that I do every day that you are usually in the chat for. I'll be doing that show until well into Overdrive starts. So I probably won't be doing it, but I would suggest getting down there. I mean, if you're just a solo, there'll probably be a spot at the bar or something like that you could sit in. If you want to check it out, I would suggest going down and doing it.
5:30 also today. Canada, Ecuador quickly. Men's international friendly.
Your thoughts on that? I heard you mention that. Fill us in. What? Now that's a home game.
It's a home
Canada,
game.
Ecuador. Do we know anything about the lineup?
A nice competition. Haven't seen any lineup fully. No starting lineup, but there are a few call-ups that I think Jesse Marsh is trying to see what he can do. There was talk yesterday that there's this goalie. I forgot where he's playing right now over in England. He might be Canadian, and they might be able to snag a goalie in advance of the World Cup next year. But Ecuador is a tough one. They're 23rd in the FIFA World Cup rankings. Canada is currently ranked, are we like 26th or something like that?
Yeah, I think.
So it's a close competition. It's a close matchup, but and we still don't have Alphonso Davies. But we got a great team. So I the draw or Canada winning are the ones like I'm not betting on Ecuador. I'm not going to sit here and say any of that. But I do like always. It's one of the things that just the go-to. Canada's plus 183 at home. As the draw's 188 plus 188. Ecuador's plus 151. So Ecuador slightly with favorites, and I'm sure because anytime there's games in Toronto, a lot of their diversity does come out. I'm guessing there will be a decent amount of Ecuadorians that will be there, if that's the right term for Ecuador. Ecuadorians, thanks, Hernan. But hey, Canada, we're a good side. We keep playing well. I do like our goalies when they do go, and we'll see what Jesse Marsh goes with there, and also just Jonathan David is a guy that. When he's got the Canada kit on, he scores goals. So Jonathan David, anytime goal I do always like that one when it comes to this. But the 5:30 for that one, as Canada keeps getting ready for the 2026 World Cup, which I'm still trying to get my tickets for.
I will suggest that the Ecuadorians are not used to the conditions that they're going to be playing in tonight. Today's high is 8. There's going to be a 40% chance of showers, 30-kilometer gusting to 50. It'll become light later on this evening with a low of +1. I know we've all still been talking about the icicle kick and the CPL move a little later on. It's not going to be quite like that, but you'd have to think that the conditions will be an advantage for Canada.
Speaking of that, MLS is expected, I think, today or tomorrow to vote on moving their season. They are scheduled to go March to November or whatever MLS. They're going to shift to a fall to summer one. So September through to April, where they'll take a little break December, January maybe. But they are switching to a soccer formula like they do in Europe, which is fall to spring type thing. So we'll see how that impacts. Vancouver plays in a dome, but we'll see how that impacts Vancouver and Toronto moving forward. Huss, what's coming up on WST?
You know what? We're going to get ready for this Jets-Kraken game tonight. James Duthie's actually in town. He's going to jump on. He's got his new book, Certified Beauties. So we'll talk a little bit about that, get his thoughts on the Grey Cup. Rob Vanstone from Regina will fill us in on the Western champions, Saskatchewan Roughriders, as they get ready for the game. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about what's happening. As I say, Connor, we're going to have him boots on the ground, joining us from Touchdown Manitoba towards the end of the game and getting a bit of a feel about what's happening downtown before everyone lets her rip tonight.
Huss, I will see you very soon. I'll be in your city later tonight, and at some point, I'm sure tomorrow or Saturday or whatever, we will run into each other. So I can't wait to be in Winnipeg. Enjoy WST coming up.
I want to holler at me for sure. Travel safely, and we'll see you here at in the Peg for Grey Cup.
Winnipeg Sports Talk coming up with Huss and Reemish. Check it out over on their YouTube. We got two guys in a goalie coming up right away here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Hernan's giving me the wrap-up single. It's not 11:55 yet. Lock Shop Parlay will go up there with the California teams. We'll get that boosted for you. Yeah, Edmonton Sports Talk. Click on EST specials at Play Alberta, playalberta.ca. EST Sports. Deposit 50, get a free $50 sports bet. We also got EST Afternoons. We got the Reed Wilkins Show with Jay Milne, GCL Diesel, Oilstream pre- and post-game shows. That's all to come here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for sports presented by Play Alberta. On behalf of Huss, I am Awanik. Thanks for tuning into the Lock Shop. I am going Als for the Grey Cup. Outright. But why are you booing that one, Hernan? Davis Alexander's going to get this done. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday. Two guys coming up in a few minutes. Don't go anywhere.